Beach, y'all.
A very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the championship game of the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic, America's finest high school holiday basketball tournament. And we have two of the finest teams in America vying for the championship tonight. It's the number 20 ranked Providence Stallions out of Jacksonville, Florida. Jim Martin's team at 9-3 on the year, and the defending Florida Class 3A state champions are taking on the Northland Vikings from Columbus, Ohio. Under Coach Sean Taylor, they're 7-1 and one of the best defensive teams I have seen in many a year. I'm Alan Smothers, joined by Van Coleman, courtside at the Lambeau Arena inside the Myrtle Beach Convention Center along the beautiful Grand Strand of the Palmetto State. As we take a look at these teams, the Providence Stallions, as we zoom in on those right there. I don't know what you call them, Van, but they're Nikes, that psychedelic, if you will. And I can tell you this, that if you are a preseason All-American, you are the defending Class 3A Player of the Year and committed to Duke University, you can get away with wearing those.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got to be good to wear that ugly a shoe.
That's right.
And get away with it, Alan. There's no doubt about that.
And the legs that are attached to those shoes won him the Slam Dunk Championship this week at the Beach Ball Classic.
He has big-time hops. He went over 4 guys, 6'8". Now, he didn't straddle them on the side. He went over the top.
Grayson Allen is his name, and he is the top scorer on this team, averaging over 68% from the floor this week. That's right, on his field goal shooting. Not free throws, not three-point attempts. All of his shots from the field this week, almost 70% from the floor.
Tremendous shooter, a guy who does it both inside and out. Now, it's not just finishing around the rim, Alan. He shoots 58% from 3 here at the Beach Ball Classic. He's 8 for 14. He's 92% at the line, so no matter how tired he gets, no matter what point of the game, he steps up, and it's money, baby, money.
And you see the Northland Vikings. Now, Van, this is more of a team concept. Now, Providence, we're going to talk about the pieces, parts for the Stallions in a moment, but the Vikings have gotten contributions from everywhere this week, mainly from Derek McKeithen, Doug Taylor, and Seth Towns, but Towns is kind of a question mark.
Yeah, when you come into the game, he's a young man who earlier in the week, first 2 games, 24 points a game, really had everybody buzzing on courtside about his abilities. Last night, 0 for 7, hit 7 big free throws. One of the reasons why down the stretch he stepped up and he knocked some down. But who's going to show up tonight? Is it the Seth Town we watched in the first 2 games who was tearing everybody up, or is it going to be the guy we saw last night? They can't afford him to be last night. He's got to be somewhere closer to that first 2 nights, I think, for them to be in this ball game late.
And because Wyatt Walker has been amazing this week for Providence, they're going to need the dual threat inside of Doug Taylor and Seth Towns.
You know they are. They're going to have to be able to control him. Walker's 6'9", about 235, 240 pounds. He's the guy that came off the bench before David Sharp had to go to the All-America Bowl and go down and play a little football because he's going to Florida to do that. There's a young man who steps in. I'll tell you what, a lot of mid-majors are going to be salivating to get their hands on him come next year. He's only a junior, but he really made a difference. Taylor, Towns going to have to do the job on the inside defensively. Both teams really defend the passing lanes. Quick hands, quick feet. They get after the ball. The guy that gets it inside could have a real advantage, and Wyatt Walker has been tough on the block.
This has been the finest 2 teams we've seen this week. They've been the best teams in their bracket all week long. We've had 6 enormous days of basketball here in Myrtle Beach, and these 2 teams have proved that they are championship caliber in the 33rd Beach Ball Classic Championship.
And I will tell you, there's one guy we didn't mention for the Stallions of Providence.
Yeah.
And that is Christian Terrell. I'll tell you what, Florida Gulf Coast, you know, they made it in the tournament. They got Andy Enfield a better job. Christian Terrell's going there, and I'll tell you what, he's a steal for them. He's another one of those guys that'll lead them back to the NCAA.
Hey, Joe Dooley is just sitting back smiling right now, knowing that Mr. Terrell's going to Dunk City.
I'll tell you what, I watched him play, and I said, high majors would have been all over him this spring. He's going to Florida Gulf Coast. Joe's just sitting there going, yep, 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 yep.
Well, let's go now to our public address announcer here in just a moment. Sinclair Swan is going to give us the starting lineups. He's actually going to introduce every player on both rosters here tonight for the Providence Stallions and the Northland Vikings, and then we will have tonight's national anthem and the opening tip-off. And with the starting lineups for tonight's championship game of the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic, here's Sinclair Swan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to America's finest high school holiday basketball tournament, the Beach Ball Classic from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Prior to the singing of our national anthem, it is with pleasure that I announce that as of the 12th of November, 2013, Myrtle Beach was designated a Purple Heart City by the Military Order of the Purple Heart, a national organization made up of the veterans who served in the armed forces of the United States and were wounded in combat by an enemy of the United States. Additionally, veterans and active military not in uniform can now render the military-style hand salute during the singing of the national anthem, thanks to changes in federal law that took effect in 2008. The Myrtle Beach Fire Department Honor Guard is presenting the colors, and Miss Sarah Parker of Socastee High School will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
This is the championship game of the 33rd Beach Ball Classic. We'll introduce the teams. The visiting team, the Northland Vikings from Columbus, Ohio. Head coach Sean Taylor, assisted by Todd Barnes and Terry Cornett II, bring a 7-1 record to this contest. I'd like to introduce the team. Wearing number 2, Dante Smith. Number 3, Justice Cornley. Number 5, Kenny Sloan. Number 11, Malik St. Valley. Number 25, Jordan Kitchen. Number 32, Jalen Tucker. And number 21, Seth McCoy. Now the starters for the Vikings. A 5'9" senior, wearing number 1, Shamar Ward. A 6'1" senior, Wearing number 15, Ty Hairston. A 6'3" sophomore. Wearing number 22, Derek McKeithen. A 6'7" sophomore. Wearing number 31, Seth Towns. And a 6'8" junior. Wearing number 45, Doug Taylor. And the home team for this contest from Jacksonville, Florida, the Providence High School Stallions. Under head coach Jim Martin, assisted by Brian Hoff, Mike Lockhart, Sean Patel, and Nina Sparrow, they bring a 9-3 record to this contest. Their players, wearing number 0, Dion Johnson. Number 4, Kendall Bryant. Number 5, Luke Morris. Number 10, Jack Wilson. Number 11, Teddy Georgiodadis. Number 15, Essa Bahia. Number 20, Andrew McDyer. Number 25, Kinley Pullen. And number 30, Morgan Walker. Their starting lineup. Wearing number 33, Wyatt Walker. Wearing number 22, 6'6" junior, Ladarian Griffin. Wearing number 3, 5'11" junior, Ben Bobbitt. Wearing number 1, a 6'5" senior, Grayson Allen. And wearing number 2, a 6'5" senior, Christian Terrell. Your officials for this championship contest, lead official Mr. Roosevelt Holman, assisted by Mr. Brian Seeley and Mr. Bernie Hastings.
We appreciate that, Swanee, as he has introduced the starters for tonight's game. You saw again Grayson Allen with his multicolored tennis shoes. Tell you what, Phil Knight loves the advertising, I'm sure, especially with a player as good as him. But tonight, at least he's wearing the same shoes. Earlier in the week, he wore one green one and one blue one.
Yeah, I heard about that, and everybody was talking about it. I said, hey, look, the kid wants to be noticed, but the thing is he can play, so it's all right. You know,
exactly.
It ain't bragging if it's fact, and that's the way he looks at it.
And Rosie Holman is going to tip it up in the center jump circle as we are set to get underway. The 33rd annual Beach Ball Classic Championship, the finest high school holiday basketball tournament in America that Dan D'Antoni began 33 years ago. And the first bucket of the ball game, Christian Terrell lays it in for the Providence Stallions.
And the assist to Grayson Allen, I'll tell you what, unselfish superstar as well. He's a guy who can score in bunches in a hurry and is willing to give the ball up to his teammates.
And look at Grayson Allen with a tip-in off the Terrell lob.
Little payback.
I'm telling you, these Providence Stallions, they may not turn it over. My goodness, Towns let it go from NBA distance. And a long rebound for Wyatt Walker, who was patrolling the paint all week long, like as if he was the National Guard. He has it in the high post now. Backdoor feed. Up off the window too strong. Batted around and pulled out of there by Doug Taylor. Taylor now to Shamar Wall. Wall to Towns. Towns 0 for 1. He is 0 for 8 in his last 2 games.
You know, it'd be interesting to see who has the jitters early on in this game. Providence has come out of one national tournament to another, and I think is going to feel less pressure at this point than Northland is when the last key games for them was the state tournament last year.
That was a nice-looking hanging one-hander by Ty Hairston, but it wouldn't go down. And Providence has turned the Vikings over once. Long 3 by Christian Terrell. Misses everything. That one may have been partially blocked. But Northland, Van, we talked about this in the semifinals last night, has caused more turnovers in this tournament as they score on the offensive end. Doug Taylor. They have 42 steals in 3 games, and I've not seen that in this tournament in being a part of it for 27 years.
Well, they have very, very quick hands, and they attack the passing lanes as well as any team I've seen. They really anticipate the pass. They get out very, very quickly and try to take motion away from you. Right there.
Grayson Allen.
Providence on the reverse.
Already with 5 points. 1 from just above the cylinder and 1 outside the arc.
In that series, Providence didn't look to cross anyone's body. They kept the ball out on the perimeter and reversed it rather than getting the ball skipping across. A lot of teams try to skip it or try to go to the blocks, and I'll tell you what, Northland will pick your pocket when you do that.
Shamar Wall answers Grayson Allen's triple with one of his own at the offensive end. And Providence still holding a 2-point lead. I read an article earlier this week, Van, about Grayson Allen. Said he was virtually discovered right here in Myrtle Beach at one of Jeff Schneider's Big Shots AAU basketball events at Socastee High School. Said before, that event he had maybe, Central Florida and a few, of the mid-majors down in the Sunshine State had offered, but no Dukes or Kansases or anybody one like that. But after that event in Myrtle Beach, they just started flooding in. So AAU basketball can get it done for you.
Oh, it certainly can, and I think in his case, the big difference was he went from 150 to 170 pounds in that year, and that was the strength, finishing at the rim, doing those things. AAU ball gave him a chance to really showcase the things he does, putting it on the floor. Now he's 190, and he's a man among boys at times.
And his elevation is remarkable for someone his size. He was in the championship of the slam dunk competition last week in Florida, and he won the slam dunk competition against Derek McKeithen, who he's facing tonight, number 22 for Northland. And he's going to be double teamed by McKeithen, but gets it across the timeline.
The big thing here was he made that 4-man over dunk, and he missed it down there on the first time through, and that was just the difference. 1 point can cause you to be a semifinalist or a champion in a big-time slam dunk contest.
Point blank underneath, missed on the first attempt, but Wyatt Walker stayed with it off the backboard and got fouled from behind by Doug Taylor on the putback.
Yeah, Taylor thought he had ball, but he also, as he came down through, caught the arm.
Walker's averaging 10 points and 7.5 rebounds in this event.
And this is a young man that sat and watched a lot up until this time because of David Sharp. So you can see they've got a little depth on that bench at Providence, and I like this young man. I think that as a junior, he's got a chance to see a lot of mid-major interest over the next year or two, and who knows, another inch or two of growth, he can end up seeing some high majors start to take a look, but he's very effective around the basket.
So maybe Wyatt Walker makes a name for himself here along the Grand Strand as well as his teammate Grayson Allen did last summer. David Sharp, of course, the two-sport star, is not here this week because he's playing in the U.S. Army All-American football game. And here's a three-point shot from the left corner by Derek McKeithen. And McKeithen puts Northland on top for the first time.
I think McKeithen is a real key. He had a great game last night. He's a kid that really is able to attack the ball and play at the same athletic level as Allen and Terrell do.
Saw McKeithen put hands on Christian Terrell there 3 or 4 times, and the officials are letting the hand checks go in this tournament, and it's not the first time tonight that's happened.
No, you know, every state calls it differently. And here they're letting the kids play.
That was a great no-look pass by Ty Hairston underneath for McKeithen. McKeithen can't convert, and then Doug Taylor steals it away. Mid-post jumper is no good, and Grayson Allen shows that elevation to get up and pull down the rebound. He goes all the way to the front court himself. No-look pass to Walker. Walker misses the short layup. The other end, it goes to McKeithen, and he jams it home with the right hand.
That's one of those things where Grayson Allen, being unselfish, maybe should have taken that one right onto the rim.
Here's a triple team by Northland, and there's another steal. We talked about it. 42 steals coming in, and they've got a couple already here in the first half.
You cannot throw the ball diagonally across their defense. They're just too quick.
Hairston's three is too long. Rebound for Taylor. Taylor back outside for Wall. Wall backs it up and recycles the offense with 11 minutes to play and a three-point lead for the Vikings. He'll light it up from distance straight away. Second triple of the ball game for Shamar Walker. Make that Shamar Wall. 10:58 to play and a timeout on the floor. It is a media timeout. They'll extend the 30-second to a full, and it will be a media timeout. And Northland has taken a surprising 6-point lead over the number 20 ranked team in the country at the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic Championship game on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
If you want to go where everybody knows your name, the place is the Coastal Ale House. Our friendly staff will take care of you. The delicious food will more than satisfy, and the good times will keep you coming back. Between the full menu from 11 to 11, daily lunch specials, screens that entertain you, happy hour from 4 to 7, prime rib Saturday night, and our incredible Sunday brunch, we'll know your name in no time. The Coastal Ale House, located just off Highway 501 between the Quality Inn and the Conway Medical Center.
Back inside the Lambeau Arena in the Myrtle Beach Convention Center, Alan Smothers along with Van Coleman courtside at the 33rd Beach Ball Classic Championship game. And Van, Shamar Wall is the difference in a 6-point lead for the Northland Vikings here in the first half of this one.
You know, sometimes you set up a game plan and you look at what's happened prior to that, and Jim Martin did that. In this case, Shamar Wall had not had a three-point shot. They've been backing off and giving him that rather than having him penetrate, where he's so effective, and he's knocked him down, and that's been the difference up to this point.
Grayson Allen connects on his second three-point shot of the ball game.
But that is something that you're going to see a lot of, and that's what he does, and I don't know if you can take it away. I think you just have to limit it.
Ty Hairston off the back rim with a three-pointer. Long rebound for Providence. Ahead, off the glass, tipped up once, twice. Still fighting for it, Grayson Allen. Luke Morris missed the first shot outside for Grayson Allen. He misses again, and Providence had 4 opportunities on that trip and cannot connect on any of them.
You know, I know Grayson Allen doesn't have many limits to his range, but I think 30 feet is about it.
There's the first field goal of the last 2 games for Seth Towns, and for the tournament, he is now 5 of 12, make it 5 of 13 as he missed his first triple of this game. And another steal by Northland, trying to get it to the high post.
You know, anytime you throw through their defense, you're running the risk of that ball being picked. They really are long, they're very, very wide, and they've got quick feet.
Grayson Allen with 8 points leads all scorers right now. Shamar Wall with 6, both from long distance, and an 18-12 Northland lead. A little surprising here in the early going. Providence has been more the offensive threat throughout this tournament. Northland, a defensive juggernaut. Here's Ty Hairston hanging one-hander. He connects with the left hand this time.
You know, I said earlier I thought that maybe Northland would have more of the jitters. It seems like right now Providence is forcing it a little bit to the action a little bit, trying to speed up the tempo, and it hasn't helped them.
Christian Terrell finally gets it across the 10-second line with lots of disturbance by Shamar Wall. High post to Walker, backdoor cut by Grayson, up and under. Look at that! Acrobatic shot by Grayson Allen.
You talk about body control. That young man was in the air for 12 feet, pulled it back down after the guy attacked the ball above his head, came back around and did the reverse finesse shot. Gorgeous. That was almost, should I say, Jordan-esque.
I don't know if I want to go that far, but...
Tell you what, he was in the air as long as I've seen Michael a number of times.
At this level, Grayson Allen can hang about as long as anybody and get up as high as anybody. And now he is in double digits with 11 points of Providence 15. Grayson Allen is putting on a show, the Duke commitment. Of course, Christian Terrell committed to Florida Gulf Coast University, and our friend Joe Dooley. Here's a up and under, 2 offensive rebounds, finally taken away and then stolen right back by Northland. In the ball game, Justice Cornley for the first time. Skip pass to Cornley in the left corner. McKeithen from the left point fires a 3 and hits nothing but glass. Here's Terrell, kick out for Bobbitt. Ben Bobbitt skips it to Grayson Allen. Another 3 on the way. This one heavy off the back rim. So Grayson Allen has been all the offense so far for the Stallions, and officials confer, and Coach Sean Taylor wins the argument that, or does he? No, he's going to press full court now.
You know, he's missed 2 of the last 3, but he's 3 for 5 in the game, so he's shooting 60% from beyond the arc.
Yes, Coach Taylor didn't win the argument. Providence gets the ball back. Taylor, or make that Terrell for 3, around and out. Providence tries to put pressure on the ball in the backcourt. Ben Bobbitt, 4 points, 1.5 rebounds. He's not the offensive force for this team, but a very good defensive player at his size, only 5'11", and a junior. Cornley up top to Wall. Wall, got to watch him now. He's 2 for 2 from the bonus sphere. And he'll light up another one from downtown. This one is off the mark. They fight for it in the left corner, and Grayson Allen stepped on the baseline before he throws it back in bounds.
On that last one, they were up on Waugh, though, defensively. The defender was in his face, and that was the difference why that one wasn't true.
7:17 to play. Another media timeout here in the first half. We're midway through the first half of play, and Northland hanging on to a 5-point lead in the championship game of the Beach Ball Classic 2013 on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
Johnny Gardner Law.
I practice primarily family law. In family law, it's really important not only to understand the background and the law behind the case, but also to listen to your client and to understand their goals, their expectations, so you can work together to come to a really great resolution of the case.
Johnny Gardner Law, with offices in Myrtle Beach and Conway. Wherever life takes you, we'll be there.
Providence Stallions coming into this game, we're shooting 60% from the field as a team, nearly half that right now, 31%, and the only person to score besides Grayson Allen from the field is Christian Terrell, and that was the first bucket of the ball game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Northland has struggled from the perimeter. They're 4 for 9. That's why they're up 20-15, because they've shot the ball well from the perimeter. You know, you look at it, it's early. Providence, I think, has been rushing their shots. Maybe the defending, the hand in the passing lane, thinking they don't have as much time to react offensively, has caused that.
Cornley lights it up from distance, and it's way too long. But a long rebound off the backboard to Keith, Jalen Tucker. Tucker, his first game was last night in this tournament, and he was terrific.
Yeah, he was a big key.
Man.
A big key for them winning that game last night. they get quality play out of him tonight that way, he could be a big plus if they get to make a run here at the winning this ball game.
Dribble penetration by Wall. He gets it back after a kick out. 6.5 to play. First half action. Wall looking for the post entry. Instead, he'll cross court a pass to Cornley, who loaded the gun and decided not to shoot. Back to McKeithen. McKeithen guarded out front by Bobbitt. McKeithen backs up, hits it to Towns. 3 on the way. Hits the front, the back, and comes off. Wyatt Walker is the only other Stallion to score, but both of his points are from the foul line.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing with Northland is Seth Towns has decided he wants to shoot threes, and he was an inside-out player the first couple games where he established the game inside, then stepped out and made the jump shots. I think he's kind of gone away from what was successful for him.
And junior Luke Morris hits his 4th three-point shot of the tournament. He is 4 for 6. Well, they're saying it's a 2-point shot now. His foot was on the line, so Luke Morris becomes the 3rd Stallion to score from the floor. Here's a turnaround. There's Jalen Tucker, and his baby hook is short and yanked off the cup by Wyatt Walker. Now to Morris. Morris spins into the front court. Nice handles. Off to Grayson Allen. Foul line extended in front of the Northland bench. Fires it away, and he strips the net for 2 from the short corner.
I'll tell you what, Blue Devil fans have got to be really excited to watch him make that 1-2 dribble move and that pull-up, because he is really, really sweet off the dribble.
And Coach Sean Taylor wants time out here. He knows that you can't let Providence get a rhythm going, because especially with the shooting of Grayson Allen, if Christian Terrell gets untracked at all, you get LaDarian Griffin and Wyatt Walker involved. Any rhythm at all for this Providence team, they can blow you out in a hurry.
Well, that's right. You know, Allen is a guy who creates space for the other players, including Terrell. Once you have to slide 2 guys to him, that's going to leave somebody open on the floor, Allen. They can't afford to let that open man beat him.
Sean Taylor, by the way, is in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Northland Vikings, but he's coached for 14 years total and has twice been named the AP Ohio Coach of the Year, once with Northland and even before. So this guy's been around the block once or twice.
Yeah, I tell you what, very successful coach here, taking over for Satch Sullinger. He's 58-3 at Northland. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
58-3. 207-99 total. And speaking of 14 years, that's how long Jim Martin has been the head coach of the Providence Stallions. He was at another Catholic League school in Jacksonville for just a year before he took over for Providence. He's been their only head coach. School was established in 1997, and they've already won 2 state titles.
Yeah, 2 titles, and he's won 371 games coming into tonight, and and only lost 70. It's an amazing statistic for this new of school, and a school that you know, has had to build it from scratch up.
Recurring theme, steal for Northland Vikings, and Shamar Wall going for another. Grayson Allen gathers it in, kicks it out for Bobbitt. Bobbitt's 3 is strong. Rebound for Morris. Morris out to Terrell. Terrell is short. Dialing long distance.
Yeah, Christian's a little off on his shot tonight, not getting quite as much legs into that shot.
But I tell you what, I've liked him all week long, at least as much, if not more, than that guy right there. And a blocking foul. Coach Taylor can't believe it. He was running down to get some water. Actually, that wasn't Coach Taylor. That's one of his assistants. And Coach Taylor is begging to differ. We've got a media timeout with 3:57. Make it 3:59 to play in the first half. When we come back, it'll be Grayson Allen at the free throw line, but Northland clinging to a 3-point lead as you watch the championship of the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic on HTC Sports.
Team, you guys are doing a heck of a job. And don't forget, we got the Big South Championships coming up, and we're all going to head to Myrtle Beach. Road trip! Come on!
Rock the beat.
Don't miss Myrtle Beach Madness. Make your plans now to attend the Big South Basketball Championships March 4 through 9. Everything you need is at visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South. See you at the beach.
(22-19), Northland in front, and the Vikings are starting to press a little bit more defensively and cause Providence some problems in the back court. And they only credit Northland with 3 turnovers or 3 steals right now, 4 turnovers total. I think there's a little more than that, but Providence is certainly feeling the pressure defensively by these Vikings.
Yeah, they've definitely quickened their pace, and that's what Northland wants. They want to get them out of rhythm so that, you know, Terrell can't get that feel with that jump shot because he's getting the open jumper. They've tried to take Allen out, and so far they haven't been successful with Grayson Allen, but the rest of the team seems to be struggling from the field.
Allen is 1 for 1, now 1 for 2. He does have a flaw.
Yeah, he can miss one once in a while.
Yeah.
Doesn't miss many, though, at 92%.
Second free throw is bottom. And it's a 1-point ball game. Northland with the ball and a 2-point lead. .350 on the rolling clock as Shamar Wall dribble penetrates the lane, kicks it out for Cornley, and gets it right back between the keys.
You know, one of the things about Waugh, you know, he hit those 2 early threes that really kind of set a tone here, but now he's back to his regular game. Penetrate, kick, penetrate, kick.
But they're having to respect that jump shot now, coming out on him every time he touches it. So that could open up a lane a little bit. There's Walker guarding Hairston in the open floor. I don't know if that's a good idea. Foul's going to be called on Bobbitt. Reach-in foul on the dribble drive by Ty Hairston. And the big people coming back for Northland. Tucker and Cornley will sit down. Coming back is McKeithen and Taylor.
I tell you what, that duo that just went out did a great job during that stretch to keep them right where they were, up a bucket and give some rest to those legs.
Hairston guarded out front by Kedar Bryant. Kedar, I think Hairston feels like he's got some quicks on him. And Bryant stays in, cuts off the path for Wall, and he turns it over as Grayson Allen gets an arm bar from McKeithen. Bounce pass to Walker, squares to the bucket, puts it off the glass, got the friendly roll.
I'll tell you what, that was sweet. Power dribble, used his feet to get his body in position, kissed it off the glass with the roll.
And that right there is a perfect example, Van, of fundamentals can get you a friendly roll every now and then.
They get you a friendly roll, and they can also get you a scholarship, Alan.
Absolutely.
And I think that young man's well on his way to earning one of those.
Here's a 3-point shot by McKeithen, and he lets everybody know about it, holding up the 3-point, or the 3 fingers after the long-distance dial-up. And Northland jumps back in front by that 3.
You got to let the kids have their fun, but in reality, you got to know that you've been there and can make those.
Oh, nice shovel pass by Grayson Allen for the easy 2 for Wyatt Walker. Great assist by Grayson Allen. He can do that too.
You know, 3 guys collapsed to him. He saw Walker standing there all alone. Nice shovel pass. Walker, good hands. Picks it up and puts it in.
Allen averaging over 2 assists a game this week, as is Terrell with a layup. And Providence is back in front. 26-25 as Kedar Bryant.
Best way to take those hands out of the game, Alan, is to run with the basketball. Up and down, get the tempo, but you got to control the boards, do that. Be interesting to see if they can continue it.
I tell you what I like about Christian Terrell all week long is on the breaks, in transition, he has been completely under control. I think he can play point guard at the next level. Grayson Allen directing the traffic right now. And we're inside 1:10 to play. Here comes the double team. Actually, he dribbles through it. Baseline drive by Bryant, back outside to Terrell. Terrell stops inside the foul line, kicks it back out for Allen. Allen stops and pops from 12. There's a battle for it underneath, and the rebound is lost out of bounds. Sounds like it's going to be Viking basketball. Northland in front by a point, 53 seconds to play. I told you that the Providence Stallions school was established in 1997. They won the 2008 2A Florida State Championship and the 2013 3A State Championship. And all of the schools in the state, there are no private school, public school leagues as there are here in South Carolina. Everybody plays together, and Providence has been successful.
Well, they also play a lot of larger schools.
Absolutely.
In their league, and that really helps them when they get into state tournament play.
There's Terrell. He got the defender off his feet with a head and ball fake, double pumped the shot, and then kissed it off the glass and gets a conventional three-point opportunity. And our colleague, Caroline Springs, is going to speak with the coach that's in front right now. It's anybody's guess who that might be. And she's laughing about it too, going, who do I approach? It's 29-27. Coach Jim Martin's team leads it by 2 right now, but Northland trying to tie or retake the lead with 15 seconds remaining. Stopping and popping at the left elbow, airmailing the cup, and a nice job by Kadar Bryant just keeping Jalen Tucker away from the ball.
Nice linebacker move there, keeping him away from that pass.
And the pressure that Northland puts on, look at the hand checking. I mean, there's hands all over him, and they will not call it. Again, time will run out before they can get off a shot. 29-27, Jim Martin is going to talk to Caroline Springs in just a moment as his Providence Stallions fought valiantly, fell down by a total of 8 points at one point, but they fought back to take a 2-point lead at halftime, and Caroline Springs is with Jim Martin right now.
Here with Coach Martin, you're ahead right now going into the half, but it was a lot of back and forth. How are you going to secure the lead in the second half?
Well, hopefully they don't shoot it as well in the second half, and hopefully we're a little bit better on defense. It's going to be a great game. It's going to go down to the wire, but we've got to do a little bit better job of securing the rebound when we do get them to miss. But they're shooting it really well. We hope we can cool them off a little bit in the second half.
All right, Coach, and what are you going to tell the guys in the locker room?
It's all about the second half. Probably going to come down to the last 2 minutes. We got to play smart, and then we got to pick it up on the effort.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Caroline. And again, Jim Martin's team leads it by 2, but their defense, I think, was the difference in the first half because they held Northland to a 35% shooting in the first half. But we'll tell you more about the stats when we come back. It's halftime of the championship game of the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic, America's finest high school holiday basketball tournament. Alan Smothers, Van Coleman with you from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as we bring you the championship game on HTC Sports.
My HTC digital cable service connects me to my favorite shows and new release movies with video on demand, so I can watch what I want, when I want, and I can choose from more than 200 channels, including digital cable sports. I'll never miss a play for my favorite team in any season. With HTC, it's a win-win, because HTC connects me with the things that mean the most.
Primetime on demand, including NBC, available free with any HTC set-top box. Call 369-8961.
HTC, this is life. Connect with it.
The fun in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina always begins at the beach. 60 miles of picture-perfect coastline provide the perfect opportunity to get outside and enjoy the area's #1 attraction absolutely free. Start here to begin your affordable vacation getaway. Earning several honors, including the world's best beach by Yahoo Travel and top family destination by Ask.com, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is renowned for much more than its shoreline. World-class entertainment, endless shopping opportunities, award-winning dining, championship golf, spectacular spas, and family-friendly affordability are never far when visiting the Grand Strand. Spend the day checking out the brand new boardwalk, voted 3rd best boardwalk in the nation by National Geographic. And when the sun goes down, the lights come up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Host to a vibrant social scene and entertainment options that just don't stop, You can begin a fun night out sampling cosmopolitan cuisine from one of the area's esteemed restaurants, or take your pick from a variety of live action-packed shows showing nightly. If you're longing for a little more peace and quiet where life moves a little slower, check out the distinctly southern moss-draped oak trees at Brook Green Gardens, a National Historic Landmark, or savor locally caught seafood and Carolina low-country cuisine along the Murrells Inlet Marsh Walk. Family-friendly events like the annual Sun Fun Festival, Beach Boogie and Barbecue Festival, a Memorial Day weekend celebration are always sure to impress, providing another free way to enjoy the South Carolina sunshine. And popular water parks, oceanfront amusement parks, and outdoor entertainment complexes keep families coming back year after year. No matter the tempo of your vacation, the Myrtle Beach area has something to offer everyone, combining rich Southern heritage with modern-day appeal to deliver memorable family moments sure to last a lifetime. Visit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and experience so much more for so much less.
My LTE smartphone from HTC Wireless connects me to friends and family faster than ever with 4G connection speed. And that means faster shopping, sharing on Facebook, uploading photos and videos wherever, whenever. And when my family needs more data on all of our phones and tablets, HTC has a plan for that, connecting me with the things that mean the most.
Switch to HTC Member Connections and save up to $1,000 over 2 years. Call 369-8968.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
Well, as you see, the Krispy Kreme donut eating contest is well underway. Actually, I think it is starting to wind down. At least the participants look like that anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're right here in the middle of the cheering section for the Krispy Kreme donut eating contest. And we got folks all around us. I think they're rooting for the guy with the Phillies on the front, though.
Yeah.
The little guy's got a bunch of buddies behind us. They're having a good time. And that's part of what the Beach Ball Classic is about. Having a good time, a family event. I'll tell you what, that's why I love coming here. There's so many great things that go on in this tournament, Alan, and this is just one of them, the Krispy Kreme Donut Eating Contest.
Yeah, I think this is the third or fourth year that this has gone on at halftime of the championship game, and you and I have been right in the middle of it. And I tell you what, it's like Charles Barkley once said, nothing finer that God ever made than a hot Krispy Kreme donut.
Or if it's a Krispy Kreme donut with a little bit of bacon with it.
Oh, yeah. Now, Krispy Kreme, bacon goes better with everything.
Everything, baby. That's what I'm saying.
Bacon makes everything better.
But you know what? I think it's the fun of the whole thing, and we've got a great championship game here, 29-27 in favor of Providence. It's been a real battle. Game started out a little differently we thought, Alan.
Yeah.
Northland, who has not shot the ball well from the perimeter, is 5 for 12 from 3. That's what's kept them in the game. Providence, we thought, might struggle a little bit with some turnovers, although we think they have more than 4, maybe more like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But they've done a very, very good job of getting it up, getting the opportunity, and a team that normally is knocking it down from the perimeter has had to go inside to be effective against Northland. So a little bit of different styles, some changes that the coaches have had to make in game. But Providence, down 8, came back and has done a great job getting themselves back in front.
Yeah, Providence has had fewer shots in the first half, but they've made more field goals, 11 of 25, just 2 of 8 from distance, 10 of 29 for Northland at 35%, but 5 of 12, as you said, Van, is the reason they're still in the ballgame.
That's right, and you know, with Providence, this is a team that shot 60% coming into this game.
Exactly.
So 44% is an off night so far. They've got more. They've made more baskets. The other thing, you look at the rest of the stats. The one thing that Providence has that puts them, gives them the lead. They have 9 assists to 6 for Northland. So they really do spread the wealth around amongst themselves. You look at the other stats, basically turnovers and rebounds almost dead even, and that's what we got, a dead even ball game.
Yeah, I was going to say that the more athletic team is Northland, but Providence has done a really good job on the defensive backboard, not allowing Northland to do as much damage. 8 and 8 on the offensive and defensive rebounding categories for Northland, 6 and 11 for Providence. So lots of missed shots by the Vikings have allowed Providence to stay right in this ball game, and Providence actually leads it by 2, but at one point Northland was up 8 and had a chance to put their foot on the throat of the Stallions, but Grayson Allen wouldn't allow that to happen.
No, we said Northland is more athletic, but there's one athlete that they don't have anybody to match up with. That's Grayson Allen.
Yep.
They've got to find a way to slow him down and make the rest of the team beat them. Right now, Allen has been the guy getting it done.
Providence owns the points in the paint, mainly because of Wyatt Walker. 12 points to 8, 9 points off turnovers, for Northland. That's where they do their damage, getting steals and easy baskets in transition. But it's only 9-5 in favor of Northland in the first half. 5 second chance points to just 2 for Providence. Fast break points 4-2. So really the stat sheet belies what happened here in the first half. A quick start by Northland, a nice run at the end of the first half by Providence, and an even 16 minutes overall.
Yeah, and the thing is, it shows you Providence inside with that 12-8 advantage. That's where they had to go. They weren't getting it done on the perimeter, and Northland got an opportunity with a few turnovers to put themselves in a position to get a big lead early. They haven't been able to sustain that. We'll see what comes out in the second half. Who is going to gain control? Who gets that run to start the half? I think it's going to be very, very key. Because if this is even going into the last 5 minutes, it's anybody's game, and it could come down to whose star is going to step up and get it done.
An interesting aspect to this tournament every year, Van, is teams that kind of emerge from nowhere to come onto the national stage. Last year in the Beach Ball Classic, it was Franklin, Ohio, and Luke Kennard, who came from nowhere. Kind of an unknown team from a small town in middle Ohio. This year, even though they're ranked in the national top 25, not a lot of people had heard of Grayson Allen, here in Myrtle Beach anyway, and Providence has never really played on a national stage, going to Beach Ball Classic type tournaments, or the Kingdom of the Sun, or the King of the Bluegrass, or any of the major tournaments through the years, except until this year. Now, they went to the City of the Palms tournament last week, which is an outstanding event, no doubt. And Providence coming here, they didn't know what to expect, but one of their coaches did know what to expect, coming to the Beach Ball Classic for the second year in a row. Sean Napital was an assistant to Gary DeCesar at St. Rita in Chicago last year, and he kind of edged Jim Martin into accepting the invitation to come to the Beach Ball Classic, knowing that this is where the best of the best play every December.
What I want to know is how you get from Chicago to Jacksonville as an assistant high school coach.
I asked him that, and he said, well, my job actually took me. He's a volunteer assistant. His job took him from Chicago, Illinois, to Jacksonville, Florida, and he said he kind of...
That's not a bad trade now.
No, he had given up kind of, knowing that he would be able to coach at the high level. St. Rita Casilla in Chicago is one of the premier programs. Providence and Jacksonville, one of the premier programs. But he met with Coach Martin. They hit it off, and he's been able to help this program in a number of ways, scouting being the number one. But he knows all about playing in events like this, being friends with Gary DeCesar for many years, because Gary had taken his New York City teams to events like the Beach Ball Classic through the years. But this Providence team is really finding it, the going, maybe not healthy to their record at 9-3 on the year, ranked number 20 in the nation, but in the long run, it will help them, having played the best teams in the country in two of the top, if not the two top tournaments in high school basketball every year.
Well, and you certainly will, and especially if they're going to try for that repeat at the 3A level,
right,
to win another state championship. Playing these games, what a lot of times the people in the States don't understand is that the quality of the competition here is at another level. So if they lose a game or two, they fall in the polls, but it doesn't make the team worse, it makes the team better, and they're going to really have an impact.
Absolutely. And now Caroline Springs is going to meet with our coach from Northland, Sean Taylor. Take it away there, Caroline.
Here with Coach Taylor, down by 2, starting the second half. How important is it to come out fast?
Oh, it's very important. We want to throw another punch at them. They really did a good job of slowing us down in the latter part of the first half, so we want to pick up the tempo, and these first 3 minutes are very important.
All right, well, I'm sure you told your players that as well. Anything else you said back in the locker room?
No, we got 16 minutes, and then you can rest on that long bus ride home. So give it all you got now.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for talking with us, and good luck in the second half. All right, back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Caroline. And, we said it last night in the semifinals, Van. Sean Taylor's been like this the whole week. Nothing phases him, as laid back, low key a coach, and I'm sure he may have been a little more animated in the locker room than he intimated here on the floor after halftime. But he's right. They can rest on the ride home back to Columbus, Ohio. They need to play their best 16 minutes right now.
He kind of has that what me worry attitude.
Right.
Exactly. Kind of an Alfred E. Newman on that end. But the thing is, just what we just talked about, the fact that the first 3 minutes are going to be the important part of this second half. They really feel they've got to come out swinging and get after it.
And, of course, as you see the just tremendous crowd that we have for the championship game every year. And the thing about Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is, 9 years, maybe, 99 years out of 100, we're not going to have a Myrtle Beach area team involved in the championship. But the fans here at the beach appreciate great basketball no matter who it's from, and they turn out to show their appreciation to the great teams and players that perform here every year along the Grand Strip.
You got 4,000 or 5,000 people on New Year's Eve. Out watching high school basketball here in Myrtle Beach, and that's a testament to how they support the tournament and how every year they turn out like this. And I'll tell you what, there's some years it might be 6,000 or 7,000, just depends on the matchups. Couple teams, like you said, maybe a little under the radar, but really quality teams. These people appreciate high school basketball.
And as I said in the open tonight, each of these teams were by far the best teams in their bracket. The upper half of the bracket was owned by Northland. The bottom half of the bracket controlled by Providence. These are the best two teams in the tournament, and they're going to prove it in this final 16 minutes of action of the 33rd annual Beach Ball Classic. Hard to believe it's been 33 years, Van. I was thinking coming over here to the convention center this afternoon, that ball has bounced off of Wyatt Walker's foot out of bounds as he tried to make the spin to the hole. Was thinking that as we get older, the years go by faster.
Always do, Alan. This is my 29th year at the Beach Ball Classic. Haven't been here all of them, but I started coming in 1984, and it's an amazing thing to me. The tournament has gone through a lot of generations, a lot of evolution, but always is one of the top events every year in America.
Christian Terrell, nice underhand pass to Wyatt Walker, and Walker with a finger roll. Scoop to the hoop. Puts Providence in front by 4 after Seth Towns missed a heartbreaker from short corner on the right. Ball went down in the hole, took a couple of rattles and spit back out. But I was thinking coming over here, this is my 26th year overall, 24th year we've broadcast the event. We started broadcasting in 1989, so it's the 24th year of the network. And errant shot by McKeithen right there, very errant. And next year will be our 25th year, a nice up and under by Christian Terrell. Will be our 25th year broadcasting the event. I became friends with Dan D'Antoni in the second year that I moved here, 1987. 86, I had to sneak in. Don't tell anybody.
They're still looking for the money for that ticket, by the way.
I know. Just don't tell anybody. I snuck in that first year. And the next year I started helping Dan as a volunteer assistant and kind of volunteering with the tournament. And then the third year we started broadcasting the event. And we've been here ever since. It was still at the Socastee High School then. We were doing radio only. And then we moved here to the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. And that's when BroadcastMonsters.com and HTC, almost took out our equipment there. But HTC came in and wanted to start broadcasting the event worldwide, streaming online, which I had never heard of, being in radio most of my life. But it has been a tremendous run since then. And now if you're not watching the event, you're just not trying, because you can see it everywhere.
Yeah, you can see it anywhere. You can get on the internet. You can see it. You can see it on your phone. You can see it on your laptop. All kinds of things.
And of course, the Beach Ball Classic at beachballclassic.com, HTCconnect.com, and HTC Cable Channel 4. We're live on TV here in Myrtle Beach now. So it's been a great run.
I know, Coach, speaking of great runs, Coach Taylor's looking for a great run because this was not the way he wanted to see this half start.
No, they have not gotten on the board yet, and we've almost played 2.5 minutes. And Providence has extended the lead to 6. Even hard to believe that Dan D'Antoni would have envisioned as large an event as this has become over 33 years.
No, I think, you start something, you think it's going to be good for the community. It's a small thing, it's something to do during the holidays. Next thing you know, it blows up to where it's being played in a convention center in front of thousands of people. Outgrew Socastee High, essentially.
Yeah.
You could not get into that gym.
Why'd you think I had to sneak in?
Well, I thought there might have been other reasons to know cover that.
There wasn't a ticket to be had. So I snuck in and stood in the corner.
And I remember the old press seats where they were right up in your chest, and you barely had enough room to even sit there, let alone write or use a computer later on. So I think that when you look at it, this was a great move for all of us to the convention center, because I'll tell you what, this is first class sitting here courtside. It always has been, but the tournament is run that way.
We played 3 minutes and 24 seconds, and Coach Taylor's team has not scratched yet in the second half. He finally calls a 30-second timeout, and Coach Martin is saying, boys, do what you do. And they continue to, they're actually trying to slow Northland down a little bit. As Coach Taylor said to Caroline Springs a moment ago, that was Providence modus operandi at the end of the first half. Keep the Vikings from getting steals and runouts.
Well, the thing Coach Martin said during the halftime, we got to take away that shot. We can't let them have the easy shot. They got it early. They made those shots. They felt in the second half that was going to be a key. So far, they've been able to do that to Northland, where Northland hasn't been able to get that tempo up that Coach Taylor said he wanted. He wants to get out and run.
It was 29-27 at the half. It's 33-27 right now. And Northland still trying to get on the board. We've played 3 minutes now. Keith McKeithen hanging one-hander around and out. And that's Grayson Allen showing his vertical, getting up. A little high for Christian Terrell on that outlet pass. He skips it across to Luke Morris. Morris recycles it back out near the center line. But Dan D'Antoni is now an assistant coach with the Los Angeles Lakers to his brother Mike D'Antoni. And Grayson Allen hangs and with a beautiful English off the window gets it to slide through.
He is so smooth off the dribble, uses that glass. That is a fundamental player with a lot of basketball IQ that uses that backboard.
As our friend Tim Brando would say, the iron is very unkind right now for Grayson, or for the Northland Vikings. Not so much for Grayson Allen. Morris, there's Allen. And the iron very kind at times. It hits the front, the glass, and back through. An immediate timeout at exactly 12 minutes to play in the ball game, and Providence has jumped out to an 11-point lead, and we're going to take a 60-second timeout ourselves, with Providence dominating to start the second half of the championship game of the 33rd Annual Beach Ball Classic.
My LTE smartphone from HTC Wireless connects me to friends and family faster than ever with 4G connection speed. And that means faster shopping, sharing on Facebook, uploading photos and videos wherever, whenever. And when my family needs more data on all of our phones and tablets, HTC has a plan for that, connecting me with the things that mean the most.
Switch to HTC Member Connections and save up to $1,000 over 2 years. Call 369-8968.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
Your trees are beautiful, but you're going to have a problem when all those pretty leaves fall. But you could call the man. 845-2760 is the number, so give him a call.
And I'll take care of you.
Be a part of Myrtle Beach Madness. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
38-27, Providence leads it as they start the second half on a 9-0 run, Van.
That's right. You got a situation where one team is 0 for 6, The other team is, I think, 4 for 6 here in the second half. And it's, you know, the difference is tempo is what Coach Taylor wanted to create. There has been none.
Right.
It's been lethargic. That's why he called timeout. He got the break of the media timeout. He tried a 30-second, that didn't work. He was really on his players to start to step it up. They're down 11. This is a key possession right here.
And the 3 ball is in and out for Ty Hairston. And Coach Taylor read them the riot act during that timeout. As a matter of fact, he wouldn't even let them sit down during that timeout. He made them stand up on the floor while he undressed them.
You know, the convention center here is a great place for basketball. Great venue here at the Lambeau Fieldhouse. And also, don't they hold the Big South tournament here?
Well, the Big South actually is held at the HTC Center on the campus at Coastal Carolina University. But visit MyrtleBeach.com, as you see on your screen, is the host sponsor. The visitmyrtlebeach.com Big South Championship is held right here in Myrtle Beach every year. And Northland is finally on the board after a Ben Bobbitt triple at the offensive end for Providence. McKeithen hits the jumper and gets an old-fashioned three-point play opportunity to finally get Northland on the board with almost 5 minutes gone in the second half.
That was huge because they really needed to get off the schneid on this thing. And you know, you look at things here, and I'll tell you what, folks, you know, Alan was just talking about visitmyrtlebeach.com. They do a wonderful job of showing people what Myrtle Beach is all about. Tremendous opportunities, just like that one. Tremendous opportunity throwing that one down. There's so much going on here, Alan, around the tournament, the things that you can come and see in Myrtle Beach, the amusement, the places to stay, the beautiful ocean. The Grand Strand, I'll tell you what, it's one of the greatest places to come with your family year in and year out.
90 miles of entertainment and fun here along the coast of South Carolina. Derek McKeithen gets it back for Northland in the back court, but they created a steal off their first bucket off the inbound. They could have had a chance for back-to-back buckets, but Providence stole it right back. The Stallions playing tit for tat.
Yeah, I think shot selection here is something that Coach Taylor would like to see improved. Don't take that long three early in the offensive structure. You can get that at any point.
And Jalen Tucker is in the ball game right now. He was effective on the glass last night as the hands again cause a possible turnover, but last touched by the Vikings.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about in coming into this game, you know, when the kids are playing their third or fourth game in a very, very short period, sometimes fatigue sets in. If I notice one thing about the Northland kids right now, and it's one of those things you kind of watch as you watch the game, a lot of hands on hips. In other words, they may be feeling a little fatigued because they're not used to this kind of schedule, where Providence, being in their second national tournament, has already been through this once.
You see more hand checks and no calls. They just put the hand on the hip and leave it there. In the college game this year, that is a foul. The freedom of movement is what they're calling it. No longer a hand check, but it is, for all intents and purposes, the same thing. It's just being enforced this year. Here's a dribble drive up to the elbow, into the paint. Hanging one-hander is off the mark, but it's a two-shot foul coming for Derek McKeithen, who appears here to start to try to single-handedly take over and force the tempo a little bit.
Well, he's got to get his teammates to follow him, though. That's going to be the key. Right now, Providence is on a 14-3 run, and the only 3 points belong to Mr. McKeithen.
McKeithen converted the three-point play a moment ago. He's made 2 in a row now. All 4 points by Northland's second half by Derek McKeithen. Providence still leads by a dozen, though, as they're a team effort here in the second half. Converting 2 more. Doug Taylor back in the ball game. He'll replace Towns. Towns has made 1 field goal in 2 games. He came into the quarterfinals averaging 24 points a game.
That's one of those things. The coaches had that Sunday off, and everybody that looked at Northland said, we cannot give Seth Towns anything easy, and they've done a great job of taking it away from him. And, you know, he is a sophomore. Things will come. There's those hands again for Northland.
Shamar Wall.
And they're going to need those, Allen, throughout the second half.
Doug Taylor shuffled the back foot and gives it back to the Stallions after Wall, again, used the offhand to put it on the hip. The right hand swiped the ball away, and that left hand that was on the hip of Christian Terrell kept him from getting to the ball, and there is a baseball laser pass, three-quarter court to big Kadar Bryant. And that's great vision by Terrell.
You know, Terrell saw him down there, did a little look away, got his defender to react to what he was doing, and just nailed that pass down the court.
And Doug Taylor came over the top, picked up the personal foul, trying to rebound it on the offensive end, but nah. Wyatt Walker says, you can go over my back if you want to, but you're not getting possession of the ball.
Tell you what, he's big and he's strong.
I like him. I mean, if Davis Sharp is a lot better than him, boy, and Coach Martin said, I would love to have David Sharp in this ball game, no question. Here comes the double team. Grayson Allen gets away, passes out of it. High post it goes to Wyatt, up underneath. Morris, and Morris beneath the cylinder, double pumps the shot, but got fouled in the act.
Well, Morris is one of those kids that started out kind of as a walk-on with the team, earned his way to a starter over his career, and you know, just a blue-collar, hard worker, doesn't do anything.
Doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do anything well enough maybe to create things, but he's a guy who makes shots when you get him open. He makes the smart pass. He's just kind of that guy that you got to have one of those on the floor when you got guys like Grayson Allen and Christian Terrell out there that is willing to give a little bit of his game to make everybody better, and he does that.
He was 1 for 2 at the line this time. He was 1 for 2 there last night. And here's one ripped away by Providence. 14-point lead. Lead pass to Terrell. Terrell flies to the bucket. Gets fouled while he's airborne.
Now, you know everything is going well when Wyatt Walker gets it off the board and is running the middle of the break.
Wyatt Walker's got some handles now.
I'll guarantee you Coach Martin was thinking, get it to a guard, Wyatt.
Yeah, Ben Bobbitt and Luke Morris kind of share the 5th starting position for the Stallions team. It's Davis Sharp, when he's with the Stallions, is the starting center. Wyatt Walker's the 6th man, but Walker gets the start, and he has proved that he is more than worthy this week.
Oh, I mean, he's earned more playing time. There's no doubt about that throughout the year. And, you know, I'll look at it and say he's probably earned himself a scholarship down the road.
Yeah, I think so, too. Nice no-look pass by Christian Terrell, and a jump ball is called. Or nope, that'll be a foul. There's going to be a foul against Northland and a media timeout with 7:42 to play. We have gone 3 quarters of this basketball game, and Providence has extended the lead to 16 as we head to the final quarter of play, and you watch the championship game of the Beach Ball Classic's 33rd edition on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
If you want to go where everybody knows your name, the place is the Coastal Ale House. Our friendly staff will take care of you. The delicious food will more than satisfy, and the good times will keep you coming back. Between the full menu from 11 to 11, daily lunch specials, screens that entertain you, happy hour from 4 to 7, prime rib Saturday night, and our incredible Sunday brunch, we'll know your name in no time. The Coastal Ale House, located just off Highway 501 between the Quality Inn and the Conway Medical Center.
Well, it appears this 16-point lead has appeared from nowhere, but some sevens, a very magical number here in the second half, Van.
It certainly seems that way. Providence is 7 for 10, 70% from the field, while Northland is 1 for 13, 7% from the field. Those sevens don't favor Northland in any way, shape, or form.
7.7% from the floor for Northland to 70% for Providence.
And in the second half, to control tempo, I said you had to do one thing, control the backboards. Providence is a plus 11 in the second half on the glass, and that's a big difference. Plus they're 20 to 10 in the paint.
Providence has taken a stranglehold on this one in the second half. It was a 2-point game at the break, 29-27, and they have made one field goal. Has the Vikings in the second half, and Coach Taylor had said he wanted a quick first 3 minutes or a quick start by the Vikings. He's had anything but.
That's right, and I think he's thinking, did I talk to the other team or did I talk to my team?
Yeah. What locker room was I in? Seth Towns battles for the loose ball left to the foul circle and gets possession on a timeout to the Vikings. And Northland, all of the steals that they have come up with throughout the course of the week, 42 leading into this one. Their opponents have only stolen it 15 times from them. It's been quite the turnaround tonight. Northland has turned it over 6 times, Providence 10 times, but the steals are down 5-5. So each team has turned the over or forced the other into 5 turnovers rather than saying throwing it out of bounds or loose balls. Each team has stolen it 5 times from the other on the official count. So that's not where Northland likes to play. They like to have 3 or 4 more steals than the other team.
And the real key for them is right now it's 11 points each off of turnovers.
Right.
They normally have a 2-to-1 edge. In other words, 22-11 would be more normal.
Exactly.
With that, they would be in this ball game. It would be a very close game. They haven't been able to do that against Providence tonight. Now, Providence came in a -5 when it came to turnovers. So where they're at right now at -4 is not a big problem for them because that's kind of the way they play.
And the lead is 18 right now, and it's about to get away from Northland if they can't make a run. Just below 7 minutes to play coming up. Grayson Allen is screened off the ball by Seth Towns. He'll jack it from 3. Ball is batted right back to Towns. Towns down the lane with a right hand. Tries to bank it off the window, but bank's not open on this Tuesday night, New Year's Eve. And Towns will go to the line as he was raked in the air.
You know, one of the things that he's going to have to do as a player is get a lot stronger in the upper body, really work hard on his physique. He does some things very, very well, as he showed earlier in the week. But right now he's playing like a sophomore with talent rather than a talent who's a sophomore. And that's a big turnaround in his game, and a lot of that comes with the ability to play physically at the same level as guys like Terrell and Allen.
And I hate that for him because it appears he has lost a lot of his confidence that he played with earlier in the week. He has shot 94% from the line coming into tonight, and he has made just 1 of 4 from the line this evening. And he's made only 1 field goal in 2 games. Wyatt Walker, nice wraparound pass outside for Morris. Morris's 3 off the mark. Offensive board for the Stallions. And Grayson Allen, I wouldn't put it past him letting it go from out there, but look at that bounce pass to get out of the double team.
You know, Terrell was actually throwing the ball to Wyatt Walker, but he didn't see it quick enough, and Grayson Allen just seems to have a nose for where the ball is going to be.
Great ones always do. And look at that hanging of fire. He got Towns off his feet. Drew the personal. And I believe that's his 3rd. No, it's just his 2nd. And Providence is in the bonus from here on out. And they can take a 20-point lead. And I tell you what, Van, even at halftime, I didn't see this coming.
No, there was nothing that told us in the first half we were going to see this kind of run out. I thought somebody would get a run, but I was looking at a 6-8 point type situation, and then it would be up to the other team to get themselves back in the game. I did not see this kind of blowout start of the second half where we've essentially seen a 23-5 run to start it.
Yeah, I think someone did ask me before the game what I thought the spread would be, and I had no idea, obviously, but if I had to, if I was at gunpoint, I would have said Providence maybe by 5, but not 20. Northland, though, finally rings in another field goal, just their second of the final 16 minutes. Their first one, it took 5 minutes to get, almost 10 minutes it took to get a second field goal.
Well, we knew at halftime that Providence would eventually start shooting the ball well. That's their forte. Unfortunately for Northland, they didn't have an answer. They didn't come back, create the turnovers, get those runouts that they've gotten in other games, and make that advantage off of turnovers that we've seen them be so successful with.
And they certainly cannot trade baskets with Providence now. As Shamar Wall with dribble drive all the way down the lane. No one picked him up, so he laid it in off the glass. Now Providence, as they've done much of the game, controlled the tempo. You said early on that there wasn't a consistency in tempo. Northland wants it very fast. Providence pretty much doesn't care either way, but there has been no consistency one way or the other.
No,
slow or fast.
Matter of fact, Providence took advantage of their ability to shoot the basketball and up-tempoed Northland in a period of the game. Northland wanted to create turnovers and control the tempo themselves. And it just never developed for Northland in this game. Providence right now is happy to take 10, 15, 20 seconds off the clock and trade baskets with you.
And when you've got a team that shoots almost 80% from the foul line, you'll get into a free throw shooting contest at the end if they want to.
Yeah, anytime that you're a high school team and you shoot 76% for the year from the foul line, it's one of those situations you're hard to come back on once you get a lead.
And Wall again connects. Back-to-back buckets. Actually, that was Ty Hairston, excuse me. Thought it was Shamar Wall in amongst the bigs. Here's Bobbitt. Bobbitt outside, may have shuffled the feet and got away with it, but
yeah, I think maybe that was traveling, but happened so quick the officials didn't call it.
Ben Bobbitt has it poked out from behind, but gathers it back in and cross-courts it to Terrell. Terrell to Walker, back to Terrell inside the center jump circle. Little ball handling exhibition, and then wraps a pass around Towns to Grayson Allen. Allen to Bobbitt. Bobbitt to Walker. Backdoor cut by Allen. The right idea, but Shamar Wall saw it coming, and he stepped in front, but he couldn't stop. Personal.
Pretty tough to stop that at 5'10". He's
Yep.
got the length and the ability to go get the basketball like Mr. Allen does.
Yeah, if he needs to go high, he can go high, and if he needs to go low, he's strong enough to do that, and he drew the personal. And he'll be shooting when we come back with Providence in front by 17. Man, big lead right now for the Stallions with just 3 minutes and 51 seconds left in the championship game on HTC Sports.
Plans today to attend the Big South Basketball Championships. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South.
Johnny Gardner Law.
What interested me in personal injury law is helping people out, and particularly people that get hurt through no fault of their own. And if you've ever been through that process, it's very stressful, and it feels good to be able to help someone out and get them through a tough time.
Johnny Gardner Law, with offices in Myrtle Beach and Conway. Wherever life takes you, we'll be there.
Grayson Allen, Duke commitment, 23 points and 2 rebounds shy of a double-double. Wyatt Walker is 1 point short of a double-double with 11 rebounds and 9 points. And just not enough on the offensive end for Northland. 13 for Derek McKeithen and 12 for Shamar Wall, and most of those have come here in the last couple of minutes.
And the amazing statistic is Northland has taken 10 more shots.
Yeah.
than Providence. Just hasn't been able to knock them down. And the other thing is Providence controlling the boards 32-21. A lot of that is Wyatt Walker and the job that he's done clogging up that middle.
McKeithen across the lane from left to right. Hangs and fires with the right hand. It comes up short. And Providence, again, cleaning the glass. They own the backboard, especially here in the second half. Look at that nice little drive by Christian Terrell. Terrell from straight away banks it home.
Wyatt Walker setting that big pick out top, and Terrell just brushed right by him, a little flip pass, and kissed it off the glass.
I just like his demeanor. I like his control. He always does. It looks as though he knows exactly what he wants to do and how he wants to do it.
You know, we said earlier that old Joe Dooley, new coach at the Florida Gulf
He's
Coast,
smiling.
He's just going, yeah, he's mine. He's mine.
And nobody's going to get him now. Because I was asked earlier by a friend of mine if he decided, say if Kansas or Duke or someone came along and wanted him now, what would he do? I said, well, I think he'd still go to, oh, what a pass by Walker. Around the back. He's a little showtime now. Walker says, hey, Grayson Allen, Christian Terrell, they get all the press. I'm going to show I can get something done, too.
I'll tell you what, he showed a little bit of the bad boy in that one, Allen.
Yeah, he did. That's what I'd have done back in the day. Yes, sirree. But I said, well, if Christian wanted to go someplace else, he'd have to sit out a year unless Joe Dooley would allow him out of his NLI, which I doubt very seriously that he would. And there's our statistician extraordinaire, Wayne White, and his trusty assistant, Tracy. They do an outstanding job getting us up to date with all of the stats throughout the week.
No one does it better at any tournament in America, period.
Wayne is the former sports information director at Coastal Carolina University. He still keeps stats for Coastal Carolina during their football and basketball games. He keeps stats for a couple of professional teams in the area. So he is a one-man statistician crew.
His license plate should say Stat King.
Stat King. That's exactly what he is. Now, of course, his son and daughter help him from time to time, but Tracy is A+ assistant on the stats. But Wayne White of White Realty here in Myrtle Beach, great job. But I tell you what, Christian Terrell going to Florida Gulf Coast University, Dunk City as we came to know them last year. Grayson Allen, that's Dunk City right there. He didn't get a dunk that time, but that's his body control that you can't find. That is as inhuman body control to get that one to roll in for him.
When a player has the kind of upper body strength that he can be bumped, knocked off kilter, and still square his shoulders and get a shot up, those are the kind of things that down the road not only pay dividends and wins at the college level, but they give you an opportunity to play after college. And I think that that's one of the things you're seeing here, is that kind of ability developing in Grayson Allen.
Yeah, and certainly he's going to be a contributor at Duke right away. But Christian Terrell, going back to him in Florida Gulf Coast, I think that's a position or a place that not only can Terrell contribute right away, but flourish right away. And they've proven they can go deep in the tournament, so it's not like it's a mid-level place to go. Florida Gulf Coast University is a major player now.
Oh yeah, they're a team that kids are looking at here in the Southeast with Joe Dooley there, a guy who was a great recruiter at Kansas. He's gonna get players now.
Been to the Final Four many times with the Kansas program. He was a head coach once before at East Carolina University, so he knows the East Coast. And Joe's a friend of the Beach Ball Classic for sure, and you can bet that Dunk City will continue to be heard from.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's in the right state to get those kind of athletes, guys that can fly.
And Christian Terrell, he has a flaw too. He missed a foul shot.
Well,
he hadn't missed many this week, though, I can tell you that.
As a team, they haven't missed many, period, throughout the week. And they're a team that I think grew up a little bit over the last couple weeks. I will tell you, Grayson Allen probably went from on the cusp of being a McDonald's All-American to being a McDonald's All-American.
Has to be.
Because of his play at the City of Palms and here at the Beach Ball Classic. He's proven to people, hey, it ain't a one-game thing, it ain't a two-game thing. I've done it now for 2 weeks, and in 8 games over that period, played against some of the best teams in America, the best players in America, and has shown that he deserves to be in that very, very special game when the top 25 hit the court.
Seth McCoy is fouled on the way to the rack, and I'll just say that we have many of the McDonald's All-American Selection Committee, including yourself, here courtside this week. And if Grayson Allen is not on that list when it comes out later, I'm going to be questioning all of your sanities.
Well, it won't be the guys that are here that are voting that would vote that way.
Yourself, John Rhodes, our executive director and mayor of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is on that committee, as well as Brick Ettinger and Bob Gibbons. And who else is here that's on that committee?
Clark Francis.
Clark Francis on the link. Okay.
Howard Garfinkel.
And we love Garf. Howard Garfinkel is the best and one of my favorite people in the world. So you got at least a half a dozen McDonald's All-American Selection Committee members here at the Beach Ball Classic, as we have every year. But I can't imagine that two names that won't be on that list are not Grayson Allen and Luke Kennard.
Well, Luke Kennard's got another year to wait for his shot.
Well, that's true. I forgot about that. The parade does underclassmen. McDonald's is all seniors, right?
Yep. McDonald's is all seniors. It's always the senior class. And Luke Kennard probably will be in that group next year, especially if he gets those knees healthy.
Yeah, he's got the little tendonitis in the knees, but we love Luke. He'll be back here another year.
You know, Luke started the tournament out. A lot of people don't realize Franklin last year was the surprise of the tournament. And he was the most outstanding player. He started the week out with 45 points in the opener. Then the tendonitis flared up, and his folks told me, he said, hey, you know, we've been able to manage this during the season because it's Tuesdays and Fridays, Tuesdays and Saturdays. But when you play back-to-back games, it flared up, and he just couldn't go anymore. And I think the Mike Bibby's record of 39 points a game was in jeopardy had that not happened.
That shows you right there that Grayson Allen is not all about Grayson Allen. He is a teammate as well and showed the passing brilliance to go along with his shooting brilliance. And Seth Towns, a little frustration foul as time is running out on the Northland Vikings.
You know, the thing that Duke fans have got to really be happy about, Grayson Allen is a young man who can handle it, he can pass it, he can shoot the three, he can finish with highlights. He is J.J. Redick with explosion.
Yeah.
And the ability to handle and create. He does all the things that a Redick does, but he takes it to another level with his athleticism and his ball handling.
And Towns fouls out of the ball game. And you're right. I think he may not be quite the shooter, because J.J. Redick may be the best three-point shooter I've ever seen in my life. He may not be quite the shooter, as Providence is going to empty their bench here, but J.J. Redick doesn't have half the hops that Grayson Allen
or
has.
the ball handling skills. And I think the ability to make that one dribble, two dribble drive, pull it up from 12 to 17 feet, or go all the way to the rim and throw it down with either hand.
Either hand. And they get a curtain call for the starters for Northland, so congratulations, or for the Providence Stallions. Congratulations to the Stallions, as Christian Terrell is going to get it after he makes his second foul shot here.
And you know who the most excited player on that whole group was Wyatt Walker.
Yeah.
He come off with a smile that went from one end of the gym to the other, absolutely just thrilled that he was part of this.
And he knows he's earned a reputation this week.
Oh, no doubt about it.
He has.
He's a guy who's really tickled with this whole situation. Got an opportunity, took advantage of it.
Took advantage of it.
That's what happens with players that get opportunities. Beach Ball Classic has been known for that over the years. And I'll tell you what, Mr. Walker is going to see a lot of people coming to the gym the rest of the year to watch him play.
I'll say one more thing about Grayson Allen. I'm not real close to Coach Krzyzewski, but knowing him as long as I've known him and knowing as close as he is to the D'Antonis, having worked with him in the U.S. Olympics, I've had a chance to spend a little time with Coach K. Grayson Allen is a Coach Krzyzewski type player. He's a winner, first off. Two, he's an overachiever. If you can count what he's done as overachieving. They've had a great team, but he himself does things that no one expects of him, and he just does it without a whole lot of, pomp and circumstance.
Other than his shoes.
Yeah, except for the shoes. Thank you.
Other than
his
shoes.
For the shoes.
He definitely wants everybody to look at those shoes and notice me.
But this year will be the last year he gets to wear psychedelic multicolored tennis shoes. I guarantee, even though Duke is a Nike school,
Coach
they will
K
not
ain't letting that happen.
They ain't happening at the next level.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. He won't be able to wear those shoes when he goes to Duke. There's no doubt about that.
They will be royal blue with Nike swooshes on them. But he's been terrific here this week, and like I said, I'm a huge Mike Krzyzewski fan, and I'm a huge Grayson Allen fan, and a huge Providence Stallions fan as they wrap up their first ever in their first appearance in the Beach Ball Classic, a championship for the Jacksonville, Florida Providence Stallions, beating Northland's Vikings from Columbus, Ohio, 69-43. And we'll get to visit with Jim Martin one more time with Caroline Springs when we come back from this timeout, and we'll wrap it up from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The champions of the 33rd Beach Ball Classic are the Stallions of Providence High School on HTC Sports.
Team, you guys are doing a heck of a job. And don't forget, we got the Big South Championships coming up, and we're all going to head to Myrtle Beach. Road trip! Come on!
Rock the beat.
Don't miss Myrtle Beach Madness. Make your plans now to attend the Big South Basketball Championships March 4 through 9. Everything you need is at visitmyrtlebeach.com/Big South. See you at the beach.
Back inside the Myrtle Beach Convention Center as we see the teams get ready to be presented with the championship trophy. It'll go to Jim Martin and the Providence Stallions, and Caroline Springs is with Coach Martin right now.
Here with Coach Martin, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Your defense played a great second half, held Northland to 16 points while you put up 38 of your own. How about those Stallions?
Awesome. The second half was great. We talked about playing a little bit better defense. We were hoping they didn't shoot it as well. We hope we could alter it a little bit too. But it was a great game.
All right, Coach, and this is your first time participating in the Beach Ball Classic. Now you're our 33rd annual Beach Ball champions. How does that feel, and how are you going to celebrate tonight?
It's awesome. We're in the record book. My wife's birthday. I want to say I love you, Laura, and we'll be home tonight, and we're bringing home the trophy.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations. Go celebrate, and thanks for talking with us. Back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Caroline, and thank you, Jim. Congratulations. A great birthday present for his wife, and hey, isn't that cool to remember?
That is cool.
For your lady.
You know what? He wins the championship of the 33rd Beach Ball Classic, and it's a birthday present for his wife. What a great way to end the week.
That is a perfect way to end the year with a championship of America's finest high school holiday basketball tournament and a birthday present for your wife. That's great stuff. And Grayson Allen, Christian Terrell, and what about our friend Wyatt Walker tonight? He is this Providence team is a full team, no question.
He came off the bench coming into the tournament, double-double back-to-back here. Got another double-double tonight with 11 points, 12 rebounds, and the biggest smile in the gym when he came out of the game late.
Absolutely, and of course the Beach Ball Classic Committee, which I am a member of, is now presenting the championship trophies to the teams. The runner-up to Northland High School in Columbus, Ohio, but the way they played coming into this championship game, barring the last 30 minutes or so, they have nothing to be ashamed of.
At halftime, it was 29-27. They were in the ball game. Coach Taylor thought that they could create some tempo. Unfortunately, his team couldn't get the turnovers. They couldn't create those things.
Couldn't create
and
the
Providence got into a rhythm. They shot 70% in the second half, and that was really the difference. Providence controlled the backboard, which created the tempo. They shot the ball well in the second half. They didn't in the first half, and Northland couldn't find that way to create those turnovers, which has been their advantage throughout the tournament.
Grayson Allen surpassed his average tonight, averaging 24 points per game coming in, scored 26, pulled down 9 rebounds, handed out 4 assists, and I think I saw him sell a couple of bags of popcorn at halftime.
I saw him up in the stands. Yes, I think he made some money at halftime.
Also, 16 points, 8 rebounds for Christian Terrell, 11 points and 12 rebounds, as you mentioned. The double-double for Wyatt Walker, a terrific performance, 69-43. I just never saw a 26-point win for this team.
No, I didn't. At halftime, it looked like we were going to go to the wire. We were looking for somebody to maybe get that 6-8 point run and separate themselves. That wasn't the case. Providence went on a 26-5 run to open up the second half, and the game was over.
Van Coleman of the Basketball Channel and Hot100Hoops.com. As always, it is a pleasure broadcasting the games with you because I know no one in this country knows these players at the high school level better than you, my friend.
Well, I tell you what, it's always great to be with you, Alan, the bad boy of the beach. And I tell you what, the two-time South Carolina Broadcaster of the Year, nothing makes me finer to be in Carolina at the new year.
I appreciate it very much, my friend. Van, it's always a pleasure, and for all of the folks with HTC Sports and Lucky Dog Television Productions, the fine staff members who have worked diligent all week long, they have covered every single winner's bracket and many of the consolation bracket games in over the last 6 days. These guys work as hard as anybody in the building.
That's that.
Much appreciation to Director Donald Smith, Technical Director Robbie Biscoff, also graphic design by Natalie Adams, camera operators Nick Townsend, Jim Lewis, and Jack Murphy, and production assistant William Bone. And thank you to the HTC This Is Life Connect With It staff of Mike Hagg, Brent Groom, Tom Vitt, and the entire folk with HTC Sports. It has been a pleasure. Also, thank you to Brad Dean and Visit MyrtleBeach.com, our CEO and the mayor and executive director of the Beach Ball Classic, John Rhodes. Thank you for all of your help this week. For Caroline Springs, for Van Coleman, I'm Alan Smothers saying your final score once again, and congratulations to the Providence Stallions from Jacksonville, Florida, a 69-43 winner over Northland from Columbus, Ohio, as they hold up the championship trophy as we speak. So long, everybody.